Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be ranking Roblox Store's hotel entities. Now this also applies with the room entities, so let's begin. Our first entity of the day is A120. This is an entity that is found in rooms, usually around room A120, as implied in the name. This entity is very quick. If you don't get in a closet as you hear the sound, you're dead. There is no surviving him. Usually he will go back more than once, so he's kind of like an ambush figure, but quicker. Now, when it comes to being a good entity, he's kind of copying a little bit of ambush. And for that reason, I don't think it's a good entity. It doesn't really have any special features besides the fact that it's quicker. So, in my opinion, I think it would be in the bad tier. Alright. Next up we have A60. This is similar to Rush, and just like A120, it is pretty much copying. This one's even worse because A120 at least had a speed change. This one, there's no difference. You just have a little bit of sound change, that's it. It still comes at the same speed. I think it's a bruh moment. It's a bruh moment. It's not a good entity. They should have had something a little different. They should have made A60 a little bit better. I think they had the chance to improve him, but it's just a copy of Rush. If you just put Rush in the rooms, that's pretty much what he is. A90. Now, this entity, however, is different. No other entity is able to do what he does. He stops the player from moving, and if the player moves, he takes 90% of health away. And if you already have lost health, you're pretty much dead. So when you go in rooms, you better have 100% health. Otherwise, you are dead. But it is a very good entity, and it definitely freaks out the player because you don't know when he's going to appear. For that reason, he is going to be a legendary entity. Moving on, we have Ambush. This is the standard ambush from doors. Goes back and forth in the rooms, kind of having that vacuum sound. It is a good entity. It's pretty solid. It's got everything that it needs. And it can come back around up to 6 times, which is pretty scary. And it definitely gives it a roll. Now, the reason why A120 was up higher was because he had a less amount of times coming back and forth, and his speed was changed. So there was multiple changes, unlike A60 with the change of the character. That's pretty much all it is. Alright, Bob. Bob is an okay character, although you just can't interact with him. When you do, just nothing happens. So, for that reason, it gives a meh. It is good for the plot of the story, it's just not good as a character itself. I think meh would be a fine place for Bob. Alright, moving on. It looks like we have Dupe next. This character is very fascinating. He tricks the players with the mind of a villain. He is a very smart entity, and honestly, he's very intelligent. He's the only entity that's able to do stuff like this. He's able to erase the number of the previous doors, and he's able to create more doors to fool the player. He is an epic. He's an epic entity for that reason. Although he doesn't really do much. If you don't make mistakes, he's pretty much useless, which is why he's not rated any higher. But he is very intelligent, very smart. He is a smart monster. He would probably be the nerd of all the entities. Because he knows how to get in the minds of a human. He knows how to get in the mind. With all the other entities distracting, he's able to do his plan of making the player forget. Alright, our next entity is Elgabino. He is an amazing character, very cute, you can interact with him. But other than that, he doesn't really do much. He supports Jeff's shop, and he gives positive energy towards the people. In that matter, I think he's a good character. He deserves to be in the good tier. Eyes. This character is very special. Some people may say that Eyes is a her, some may say it's a him. To me, I think Eyes is a her. You know, the purple gives out a girl vibe, and she just wants to be noticed. And when it comes to Eyes, it is very smart, especially when the player is not paying attention. Because if the player looks at Eyes, they get attacked and they take damage. When Eyes is in the room, you have to look down or away. And that could be very annoying to the actual player. Eyes is just wanting to draw attention in that matter. She's there for the attention. She wants so much attention that it's able to kill the players. If I were to give it a rating, I think Epic would be a great place. It's a unique entity. It changes the game in a way to make it more intense. Our next entity is Figure. The one and only Figure from the hotel to the mines. He has been there. Now, even though he can't see, he can hear. You know, the strange thing is about Figure is that he's not bumping into things. He can't see, he can only hear. So how can he sense the items around him? If this was real life, he would bump into bookshelves, make the bookshelves fall over, and he would just be a total mess. He would just be hopeless. But he is able to sense those things, which means he has heat sensors or sensor pits that's able to detect items around him. But he's not able to see heat, which would be a player's warmth. In that matter, I think he is a legendary. He deserves a legendary. He has a special role in the plot, and he has the special role. Especially at door 50 with the library. He's definitely very good there. Next up is Glitch. Now, Glitch is mainly seen in the rooms, but you can also find him if you have commands. If you're messing around with the map, you're going to see Glitch more often, especially if the floor falls beneath the player. You know, he's just going to keep going and keeping you in his glitch trap. And eventually Dread will spawn and you're going to be in trouble. Glitch is a helpful entity, but he's also an annoying entity. In that matter, I would give him an okay. He's an okay entity. Alright, next up we have the Guiding Light. Guiding Light is very useful, very helpful, especially helping the players get through tough situations. I think Guiding Light should be in the spot of best entity. Now, don't get me wrong, there's going to be more than one best entity. There's not going to be one best entity. There's just too many entities to cover, and we just have to go off on the basics, you know? We just want a rough idea on good entities indoors. Which ones are good, which ones are bad, and the ones in between. Next up, we have Halt. Halt is very special. I like the way he was designed. He was designed like a spinny tornado that's coming after you. And he has these genius puzzles, making the player go forward, making the player go backwards, making the player choose paths. So he's also intelligent in that matter. I would honestly give him a legendary because of that. He is very special indoors. And sometimes he will be in door 1, which will be kind of insane. It has happened in the past. I was playing with ItsSpringy, and he was the first object in the way. He was literally in door 1, which I'm sure is very rare. Halt can be random. But when it comes to mines, he's always at the same door and not going to change there, which is kind of sad. Because it's not really that random if it's just going to be the same place. Alright, looks like we have Hide. Hide is just this special entity that if you stay in the closet or under the bed too long, you're going to die. Or take damage. Depending on how much health you have. If you have full health, he's going to take some damage away from you. Hide does not want you to be hiding for a long period of time. So that's why he is there. He has his important role. He's an epic character. You know? Without him, people would just be hiding in closets forever. And they would just be able to do that easily, avoid entities easily. He's got his ways of attacking. Jack. Now, Jack is special. He's also rare. He scares the players by hiding in closets. He doesn't really do much. I wish he would be able to do more than just scaring people. I feel like he could have a better role. And that, I give him a meh. Alright, looks like we have Jeff. Jeff has the shop. He is very important. Without him, we would be in problematic troubles. He is very useful when it comes to supporting the player and giving them items that they may need. And I think he deserves the legendary spot. He makes money. He goes to college. You know, he's just being an average citizen. They want it to be a relaxing environment. In that matter, that's why he takes the legendary spot. Rush. The classic Rush. He just zooms through the room, and if you're not hiding, he's going to kill you. He is probably the most common entity indoors. And as being common, he is quite challenging. Because if you're in a room with eyes and Rush is coming, that can make it hard for the player to hide. You gotta be aware of eyes and you gotta be aware of Rush. And sometimes you even have to deal with Screech as well. So he is a basic entity, but he's a good entity. In that matter, he gets the epic. Screech. We just talked about him. He's this entity that if you don't look at him while he psst you, he's going to take damage away. Kind of like if a squid was trying to bite at your head with big teeth. That is pretty much what he is. If you don't look at him, he's going to chomp you. He is a good entity, and he can be very annoying when it comes to darkness. Although sometimes he does cheat and attack during the light, which is very annoying. In fact, all these mobs have their way of cheating, except for the good entities. But all the bad mobs have their way of cheating, glitching through walls, glitching the matrix system, all of that. Screech is annoying, but he is still a good character. Alright, looks like we have Seek. Seek is also a character known for cheating. He goes through the walls and sometimes he grabs the player too early. When you're at the exit and you get out of his chase scene, he takes you anyway. Because you're too close to the door. And I think that's annoying because the door should close on him, making sure that he doesn't get the person on the other side. There should have been something patched about that, but overall, he's a legendary entity. He's got his special chase scenes. He is a definite change in the plot. He makes going through the rooms a lot easier too, but it makes them more challenging. Trying to outrun him, making sure we don't make any mistakes. And he always has an eye on us. Alright, next entity, Shadow. Shadow is for multiplayers who are left behind. He just takes them and teleports them to the players. And sometimes he takes damage. And the damage can be random. He is useful, but he's not really that active. He's only active when a player is left behind, and that's only for that person. In that matter, he's just a meh character. Not much there. He doesn't even show himself. Alright, it looks like we have the pancakes. This is what I call them. I know they're those spike traps, but I mainly call them pancakes. They're very annoying in the last 10 or so doors in the hotel. If you step on them, you get stuck and you take damage. They're very annoying and they can get you killed very easily. Especially to Rush, which you cannot see the lights flickering for him. You have to actually hear him coming, which can be very scary. And these things are very hard to notice. You need a flashlight or some type of light source to avoid them. It is a very epic entity, but he's not really considered an entity. It's mainly more of a trap. So in that matter, I say it's an epic. I would put on a legendary if it was an actual entity, but since it's just a trap, it just puts an epic. Timothy, this fun little spider dude that's hiding in the drawers. He does take a little bit of damage from the player, and he can definitely get some jump scares in. He can really make people mad. But Timothy would be considered a female jumping out at people. Some people might think it's a male, but it's actually a female. A lot of these mobs, you just don't know their gender, but when it comes to Eyes and Timothy, they're both females. And based on that, you would probably assume that all the other mobs are males. Which is kind of sad for the monster world. It's crazy how there's not many females. But Timothy is good. He's not the best, but he definitely plays a role in the game. He's also found in the mines. Some of these mobs are found in the mines, some aren't. But they have their unique ways of showing up. Alright. We have Sally next, also known as Window. This is probably one of the most terrifying entities indoors. And for that reason, she's getting the best entity. And you know it's a her because it's Sally. Sally's a female demon. Look at her face. It is a female type of face. And when I mention Dread, it isn't shown here, but we're just going to assume this is Dread. Dread is this entity, if you take too long, he will come after you. And it usually takes 10 minutes for him to start coming after you. It's a very special entity, and they want to make sure the game progresses. It's kind of like a broom. You're just pushing forward. You're trying to push the player forward, making sure that they don't fall behind. In that matter, I think he is a legendary entity. He's got his special ways, and he definitely makes the player go deaf. And it definitely has that scary feeling, you know? It feels like you're in deep darkness and you're about to get taken out. He is very scary. Now, usually in game you don't normally see him, you just hear him coming, and the only way you can survive him is if you outrun him. You just can't stop, you just gotta keep on going. And you gotta make it to the next room before he gets you. Because if he gets you, you're done for. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, and at 1,000 subscribers, I'll eat the world's hottest chocolate bar and the world's sourest candy. Hope y'all enjoy the rest of your day and night, and I'll be seeing y'all in the next one. Peace out.